Hey everybody, this is Shepard, this time with the remaining footage from our time with the Monster Hunter World demo at PAX West. This time we're going to be watching the longsword from Hot Sammy Sliz. He is a YouTube streamer as well as a Twitch streamer. Definitely make sure to check out both his Twitch channel and his YouTube. So we're only going to be able to get to see the last 5 minutes of this recording, but fortunately we'll be able to see a little bit of the longsword, as well as some other features that we couldn't see from the first 15 minutes. Afterwards, we are going to get some time. We're going to be able to see some playthrough from a player that we don't know, but he spent some time walking around, and he could show some other mechanics there as well. So you might remember, semi-ominously, there was this trap in the environment. The Rathalos is really making it easy because Sammy is going to shoot something at the rock, and it falls, and it hits the Rathalos, as you saw, for a lot of damage. Assuming this was following the same rules of previous games, that was almost the effect of 4 barrel bomb. Actually, 4 barrel bomb pluses. Now this is kind of an interesting part. Sammy's going to show us some wandering around through the landscape, so this was one part I know I struggled myself of trying to locate the Rathalos, and this is really where it comes to the point in the hunt where if you're trying to find a monster, chill and watch the scout flies. Theoretically, they should be able to get you to the monster the fastest. Otherwise, you can use this feature here at basically any time. You can go to your map and ask for help to teleport to a closer area. Of course, if you wanted to change weapons or resupply an items, you are right there, right next to base camp, so you could always go in and do anything there that you could have otherwise at the start of a quest. So there's not going to be an incredible amount going on, but I think here we can see that there's old footprints. Of course, the target in this quest is not the Rathalos, it's the Agenoth. And if we wanted to start trying to track that other monster, we can go around starting to look for evidence of who the monster is and where he may be, and that would help get us to that direction. So you saw some dynamic movement there. He was trying to move through a low-hanging area as well as going under some water. I don't imagine that was very difficult for him to do. Just holding forward, which is nice. Nice that we can see these more scenic areas now. We can actually see the water falling off of his armor as well. She's going to tell him to take some meat, but you'll notice that if you're completely outside of combat for long enough, your stamina bar actually goes away. So you can run for a nearly unlimited amount of time if you're just walking around the quest, gathering, and doing other things. Again, not something that's going to help you much in an actual fight, but again, something that kind of goes into the whole direction of quality of life. Big part of Monster Hunter World is, of course, adding these quality of life improvements that don't necessarily make the game easier, but do make the more mundane elements of the game a little bit more accessible all around. You can see I'm running past now. You can see the scout flies really have the scent and or location of the Rathalos solidly in hand now. So it seems like the range on the roar is still pretty long. Sammy was not particularly close to the Rathalos when he screamed like that, but he still got flinched. You'll see the spirit gauge is going up, but his sharpness is low, so he's going to go ahead and try and sharpen in just a moment. So of course it's a fire longsword. It is not going to be doing an incredible amount of damage to the Rathalos. I would have liked to see A couple more hits, though, on the head to see how it compared to the other weapons.
Oops. Looks like you failed
So,
this time.
that was it.
We'll try
The
again soon,
quest
right?
was not a success. We did what we could in the time that we had. Certainly, if we were all able to get to the Rathalos even sooner, or if he had landed in that trap underneath the rock, might have been able to get him. You can see, though, even with a quest failure, though, this is a little bit different than usual. We're still able to get quest rewards for breaks. So, kind of like a consolation prize. Okay, next up is a player. I don't know who they are. This was just footage that continued to go on after Sammy and the rest of us played. So they're going to do a little bit of running around, which is going to give us some time to kind of see what the environments look like, as well as another couple features that are available in the tent, because they actually spend a lot of time in there.
Okay, let's get started on that quest. The one called the Ancient Forest Menace. The target is...
So this person's decided to immediately travel to another base camp from the beginning.
We've only got a limited amount of time to track it
And they
down
notice
and
they've
take
got a
care of it.
switch axe. They're immediately disgusted, and they're going to try and switch
Your
that out.
wildlife map keeps track of where you are and where the scout flies are taking you. You can also use it to keep tabs on monsters.
So they are going to try and use the charge blade. They're going to do some things that almost everybody else that's played the game has done, which is they're going to switch around their charm. This person's going to go for the rock steady mantle, I believe. Yep. And now the armor. And again, you can see here, the skills are very clearly highlighted on the right. So you can see the little boxes there. Attack boost, fire resistance, speed eating, fire attack, attack boost, fire resistance. So you get a much better sense of what are the armor skills you're getting per piece. What is each piece adding? And what will it all add up to? Remember, there's many more breakpoints this time around per armor set. So you can much more easily make a mixed set. And those high value pieces are really going to go a long way to making an effective set. All right, we had a little bit of time there. I didn't really talk over it, but you saw there that there was actually quite a bit of resources available in that base camp. So for gunners or for people that use the bow, there's actually seems to be a pretty good opportunity going forward through quests where if you are really in love with a particular type of shot or coating, you're going to be able to go ahead and go back to base camp periodically through a quest and stock up on those things. Presumably you still have to make them or purchase them, but they are there as an option. Okay, I'm leaving this part in here because the person's going to show that there are these vines you can climb around on. Seems somewhat similar to 4 Ultimate and Generations, where you had those things trailing down to higher levels. Of course, the verticality is so much greater in this game that you're going to need a lot of transportation options like that. And up there seems to be a Palico. And it seems like Palico 1 is telling you that there are these things called bug trappers in the area where if you were to mount a monster here, they might actually come in and do an assist. Something like that. Maybe they'll help put it in a net. Maybe they might actually help you tranquilize it if it gets knocked over. I don't know exactly. We won't know until we actually get footage of somebody doing it or otherwise get the game ourselves.
You can fast travel back to camp simply by selecting it from the wildlife map.
Okay, I'm going to zoom ahead a little bit. The person really just ran around in circles for about 5 minutes. You did miss out on a moss swine spotted in the wild. Sorry if I made you lose that exclusive footage, but the person actually put on the rock steady mantle. You can see it here. But after a while, it wore off and it burst off their bodies.
If you follow the scout flies to your target, you'll locate it.
Now, of course, the handler has been a large point of contention in much of the comments. I want to really point out, there's multiple language options available in the game. English is, of course, the default. There's also going to be Japanese and then Monster Hunter speak as well. So if you want to keep her on, but you don't want to hear the specific English dialogue for whatever reason, you can either change it to Monster Hunter, or we're fairly certain she could be shut off as well. One thing to point out that I thought was interesting is that Rathalos clearly saw the hunter, didn't care, did not aggro right away. So I'll be very interested to see in the full game exactly how much you can interact with the different monsters in terms of how aggressive they are. Again, I want to remind everyone, this is a player I do not know. So if they're watching this footage and they're a little sad about it, I'm sorry. You will remain anonymous unless you make yourself unanonymous. Now this is going to show what everybody wanted to see, the dam being broken. Of course, you probably want to see the monster getting carried away. Unfortunately, it is our hunter. And this here is proof positive. There is still a sense of humor in Monster Hunter World. Oh boy. So I might try and get some additional footage, cobble it together from other sources I may have. Otherwise, for now, I am going to be releasing some double cross videos over the next week or two into the future, depending on how much people want to see those. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you again for watching. Thank you for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, this is Shepard saying good luck and have a good hunt.